The sky above the literary homeworld had once been filled with floating lights, soft music, and gentle winds. Their cities were shaped like petals, blooming peacefully across the surface of their bright blue planet. They believed in harmony, in kindness, in never starting a war. But all of that was destroyed in a single day. Dark ships covered the sky. They came without warning. No signals, no words. Just fire. Plasma rained down on the Lyra cities. Buildings crumbled, families screamed and ran. The invaders, cold and silent, moved through the streets with machines that crushed anything in their path. The Lyrari had no real weapons. They had no army. They weren't ready. In one of those burning cities, deep beneath a collapsed shelter, a small alien girl hid. Her silver skin was covered in ash. Her long ears shook from the sounds of war. Her eyes, bright and blue, stared through the cracks in the wall. She waited for her family to come back. They had told her to stay and hide while they looked for help. But hours passed. The sky grew quiet, and no one returned. Her name was Leah. She was only 7 cycles old, too young to fight, too young to understand why everyone left. Hunger began to crawl in her belly. Her legs ached. She curled up in the corner, whispering songs to herself. Maybe they would come back. Maybe someone would come at all. On the far edge of the system, a small human scout ship drifted near the ruins. It was not a battleship. It carried no bombs. It was there on a simple task, mapping damage zones and checking for survivors. Of the crew stayed quiet. The Lyrae planet had been declared lost. No life signs were expected. No point in searching. But one of them, a young human named Eli, stared at a blinking light on his screen. It was faint, broken, not part of any normal signal. It was easy to ignore. Others did, but something about it bothered him. "Commander, I want to check this zone," Eli said. "Waste of fuel," the officer replied. "Dead world. Let it go." Eli hesitated, then nodded. But as soon as the others turned away, he made a choice. He took a pod and went alone. Landing on the Lyrae surface was like stepping into a nightmare. Silence hung heavy in the air. Smoke still rose from crushed buildings. The sky was gray. No birds, no color. Eli walked carefully, his boots crunching on glass and debris. He moved toward the old shelter where the weak signal had come from. His flashlight scanned broken walls. Nothing more rubble, burned shadows. Then he heard it. Soft sound. Not a word, not a cry. Just a small broken hum. He moved faster. Kicked aside metal plates. Beneath a collapsed beam, he saw her, a tiny figure, curled up, barely breathing. Covered her skin, but her eyes opened just a little. They met his. There was no fear in them, just exhaustion. Deep, heavy sadness. Eli dropped to his knees. He pulled out water from his pack and held it to her lips. She sipped slowly, then looked at him again. "You're alive," he whispered. "You're really alive." She didn't speak his language, but she didn't pull away. Eli wrapped her in his jacket and gently lifted her. She was light, far too light. Carried her back to his pod, heart pounding. She didn't cry. She didn't resist. She just rested her head against his chest. Like she'd finally stopped running. When Eli returned to the main ship, alarms went off. "What did you do?" the commander shouted. "She was alone. She needs help," Eli said. "Do you have any idea what you've done? We're not authorized to take alien refugees, especially not from species marked as unstable." "She's a child," Eli said. "Look at her. She's no threat." The others looked. Some saw only risk. But some saw the truth. She was just a girl. Scared, silent, and completely alone. After long talks and warnings, the commander allowed Eli to keep her on board for now, but he would be fully responsible. Any danger, any trouble, he would answer for it. Eli didn't care. He sat beside Leia in the medical room. She had fallen asleep holding his glove. He watched her chest rise and fall slowly. He didn't know why she was left behind, why no one came for her, or why the galaxy didn't care. But he knew one thing. He wouldn't leave her, not like the others did. The human scout ship, Hope Runner, floated quietly in orbit, far from any war zones. Inside the medical room, soft lights glowed while machines hummed gently. Leia lay on a soft bed wrapped in a blanket that was too big for her. Her silver skin was no longer covered in ash. Her hair had been cleaned, and her small body had stopped shaking. Eli sat beside her. He watched her every move. When she opened her eyes, he smiled. When she looked around, confused and scared, he spoke softly. "You're safe here," he whispered. She didn't understand the words, but she felt the tone. His voice was calm. He didn't shout like the others. He didn't look at her with fear or disgust. He just sat there. Patient days passed. Leia didn't speak, but she started to move around. She held the corner of Eli's jacket when they walked through the hall. The crew watched them. Some were curious, some were unsure. Many didn't trust the idea of an alien girl on their ship. One officer, a tall woman named Captain Vera, walked beside Eli one morning. "You care about her," Vera said, "but the rest of the galaxy won't." Eli nodded. "Then they're wrong. You're making enemies. People are watching. We've already received warnings from Central Command." "She's a child," Eli said. "I don't care what Central Command says," Vera sighed. "I hope you're ready, 'cause this won't end quietly." They reached the canteen, where Leia sat at a table with a juice box in her hands. Her legs didn't reach the floor. She kicked them slowly, smiling a little when she saw Eli. He sat across from her. "Feeling better?" Leia tilted her head. She pointed at the juice, then at him. "Eli," she said softly. His eyes widened. "Did you just say my name?" She nodded. "Eli." It was the first time she had said anything since he found her. Word spread fast across the ship. The alien girl had spoken. She knew Eli's name. She smiled now. She walked with him in the halls. She even laughed once when a small robot bumped into her. But not everyone was happy. In the shadows of the galaxy, on an old communication satellite, a message was received, target located. Lirori survivor identified on human ship Hope Runner. Status: valuable, recover, or eliminate. Reward confirmed. It was sent to mercenaries, bounty hunters, and silent killers who didn't ask questions. Gold credits, weapons, anything for a price. Back on the Hope Runner, Eli continued to care for Leia. He brought her toys made from scrap parts, little animals made of wires, floating puzzles. She liked to watch the stars from the window. She'd press her hands against the glass and whisper in her own language. One night, Eli brought a small device that could translate basic words. He tapped the buttons slowly. "Human," he said. Eli Leia answered. "Friend," he said. She blinked, then pointed to herself. "Leia." "Yes." Eli smiled. "Leia is my friend." Her smile grew wider. For a short time, it felt like peace, until the alarm sounded. Red lights flashed across the halls. Captain's voice came over the speakers. "Unmarked ship approaching. Shields up. Battle stations." Eli ran to the command deck. He left Leia with Vera, who locked the medical room just in case. On the screen, a dark, jagged ship drifted closer. It had no flags, no signal codes. Just sharp angles and glowing red engines. "Pirates?" Vera asked. "Maybe," Eli said. "Or worse." The enemy ship sent a message. No face, no voice. Just cold words. "Release the Lyri girl. You have 1 hour. Refuse, and you will be destroyed." The crew looked at Eli. He stood firm. "We're not giving her up." "You're risking." "All of us," another officer shouted. "I saved her. I'll protect her. If anyone wants to leave the ship, go now. But I won't hand her over." The crew stayed quiet. The captain sighed. "Prepare defenses. Lock Leia in the escape pod if we have to." Meanwhile, in the medical room, Vera held Leia's hand. The girl could sense something was wrong. She sat quietly, eyes wide. Outside, the Hope Runner shook as weapons fired, shields flashed. The battle had begun. Eli fought with skill, dodging blasts and giving sharp commands. But the enemy ship was stronger. It sent boarding pods. Metal claws grabbed the hull. They were coming inside. Eli rushed from the deck. He ran to the medical room. Vera had already pulled Laia into a safe corner. The doors were shaking. Then, something strange happened. Laia stepped forward. "No," Eli said. "Stay back." But Leah lifted her hands. Her eyes began to glow. Her skin shimmered with a soft light. The walls stopped shaking. The enemy ship's systems suddenly froze, their weapons powered down. One pilot screamed over the comms. "Is that shut it off?" Laia's voice rang out in a soft tone, not loud, but full of power. Machines shut down. The Hope Runner stopped shaking. Then she collapsed in Eli's arms. "She saved us," Vera whispered. Eli held her close. "It's not just special. She's a gift." After the attack, the ship was quiet again. The red warning lights turned off. Broken panels sparked here and there, but the enemy ship had drifted away, completely powerless. Not a single shot was fired after Laia had lifted her glowing hands. Whatever she did, it had stopped the entire attack. Now she lay asleep in Eli's arms, breathing slowly. Her small body looked weak, but her face was peaceful. Eli gently carried her back to the medical room. Vera followed behind, still shocked by what she saw. "How did she do that?" Vera asked. "I don't know," Eli said softly. "But she saved us all." In the medical room, doctors ran tests, but the machines gave strange results. Her energy levels were high one moment, then low the next. No one could understand it. She had no implants, no weapons inside her body. But somehow, Laia had stopped. A warship without touching a thing. When she finally woke up, Eli was beside her. "How do you feel?" he asked Eli. Blinked slowly, tired. "Eli, okay," he smiled. "I'm fine. You were amazing." She looked down at her hands, confused and quiet. The captain soon arrived, carrying a small device with glowing symbols. "We found this in old records," Vera said. "A scholar once wrote about the Lyrae. They had a rare bloodline. Some were said to have deep energy inside them. It was never confirmed." Eli looked at Laia. "You think she's one of them?" Vera nodded. "Maybe the last." The crew began to treat Leah differently. They were no longer unsure or afraid. Some smiled at her in the halls. Others brought small gift snacks, puzzles, drawings. She began to open up more. She laughed. She tried to speak more human words. Her favorite was still Eli. But while things seemed better inside the ship, trouble was growing outside. The attack had been noticed. Many eyes now watched the Hope Runner across the stars. In a large station, floating near a gas giant, a group of leaders met in a dark room. They were not part of any single species. They were traders, warlords, spies people who made profit. From fear and power, the Lyrae girl must be taken, one said. "She is dangerous," said another. "Or useful," said a third. "With that kind of ability, we could control systems without firing a shot." "But she's with the humans," someone warned. "Then we take her from them, quietly." A message was sent. "Find the ship. Capture the girl. No mistakes. Back on." The Hope Runner, Eli, noticed that the tracking systems were acting strange. Every time they moved, someone was already waiting nearby. Ships passed too close. Messages came with false names. Eli felt it in his gut someone was watching. "We need to disappear," he told the captain. "Where do you suggest?" Vera asked. Eli thought hard, then said, "I know a place. A hidden colony on the far edge of the spiral. No central command, no patrols, just people who help others like her." The captain nodded. "You take her. Go alone. Less risk. We'll fake a route to confuse them." That night, Eli packed a small ship with food, tools, and supplies. Leah stood beside him, holding a small bag of her toys. She looked up at him, with wide eyes going, "Yes," Eli said. "Just you and me. It'll be safe." She walked into the ship and sat in the co-pilot seat. Swinging her legs as they left the Hope Runner, the crew watched in silence. Vera raised a hand. Bring her back safe, she said. I will, Eli promised. Their journey was quiet. At first, Leah liked to sit by the window, watching the stars fly past. She asked simple questions with small words. Why stars move? Because we are, Eli replied. Where we go? To people who won't hurt you? Like Eli? Yes. Like me, they ate together, played simple games, and talked more every day. Eli taught her new words. She taught him some of hers. They became more like a small family, but peace didn't last. On the third day, alarms beeped again. Fast ship was following them, no signals, no name. They found us, Eli said. Lya looked at him. Her hands began to glow again. No. Eli said gently. Not yet. Not unless you must. He flew the ship through thick asteroid fields, turned sharply, at near frozen moons. For a moment the enemy ship disappeared. Eli let out a breath of relief, then something hit them. A boarding hook. The ship was being pulled in. Eli grabbed Lya and hid her in a small escape pod. Listen, he said. Don't come out unless I call you. Understand? She shook her head. No, Eli, I'll come back. I promise. The doors shook. Footsteps came closer. Eli stood with a weapon, ready to fight. The enemy stepped inside, armored, with glowing red eyes. They didn't speak. They moved fast. Eli fired once. Twice. Missed. He was thrown to the floor. Where is the girl? Cold voice. Asked. Eli didn't answer. The air grew warm. A soft light filled the room. Lya stood at the door of the pod. Hands glowing brighter than ever. Leave. Eli, alone. The enemy laughed. You think a child can stop me? But he never reached her. Light poured out like a wave. The ship trembled. Controls melted. The attacker screamed as his armor cracked, and then dashed nothing. Silenced. The attacker was gone. Eli sat up slowly. You saved me again. Lya walked over, eyes glowing, then slowly fading. No one. Take Eli, she whispered. He hugged her tightly. We're almost there, Eli said. Just a little longer. Eli sat quietly inside the small ship as Leah rested on the floor beside him. Her energy had faded after saving them again. He gently placed a blanket over her and looked at the broken control panel in front of him. Sparks flew from the wires. The navigation screen blinked slowly. Their ship had taken damage. Engines were barely working. They had survived, but they couldn't keep running forever. Just hold on, Eli whispered. We're close. The hidden colony they were heading to was called Aurora's Edge. It was built inside a ring-shaped asteroid field. Only a few people knew its true location. It was not part of the galaxy's systems. No governments, no laws, just people who helped others escape war and pain. Eli had been there once before, long ago during a peace mission. He remembered their kindness, their quiet strength, and their belief that all life had value. He hoped they hadn't changed. With what power remained, he guided the ship into the asteroid field. The ride was rough. Rocks floated everywhere. He had to dodge them by hand. No autopilot. He glanced back at Leah every few seconds. Her breathing was steady. Her glowing eyes were now dim. But she was alive. A small blue light appeared on the screen. A signal. You are entering Aurora's Edge, a voice said. Identify. This is Eli from the Hope Runner. I'm carrying a Leroy child in danger. We need help. There was a long pause. Then the voice returned. You are welcome. Follow the path. No harm will come to her here. A soft beam of light guided the ship through the rocks and into a large cave hidden inside an asteroid. Metal doors opened, revealing the colony inside. Buildings were built along the walls. Gardens floated in the air. People from many species walked in peace. It was quiet, beautiful, and safe. Eli landed the ship near the main center. A team of medics and helpers ran forward. He carried Lya in. His arms, her head resting against his chest. Please, he said. She needs rest. Bring her, a calm woman said. Her skin was golden, her hair short and gray. She led them inside a warm building filled with soft lights and soft music. Lya was placed in a bed shaped like a flower.
Ow.
Strange energy fields surrounded her, calming her body. She didn't speak, but her face looked peaceful. The woman turned to Eli. You were wise to come here, she said. My name is Alira. I lead this place. Thank you, Eli said. She's special. It's more than I knew. And now, others want her. Alira nodded. Yes, we heard. The galaxy speaks of a girl who stops warships with light. Some fear her. Others want to use her. Just want her to live free, Eli said. She's just a kid. Alira smiled. Gently, you care for her like a father. I didn't plan to. Just couldn't leave her. You chose the right path. As Lya rested, Eli spent time in the colony. He watched people train, cook, and teach. Children ran through the halls, old soldiers sat in circles, telling stories. There was no war here, just peace, but peace never lasted long. 3 days later, a warning came from the Outer Watch. 3 ships approaching, a guard said. They are armed, not answering hails. Lya's heart dropped. They found us. Alira stayed calm. We will not run. No, we will protect her. The colony prepared. Shields powered up. Weapons were hidden in the rocks. Everyone took a position not to start a fight, but to defend. In her room, Leah woke up. She sat up slowly. Eli was already beside her. They're coming again. He said softly. But this time, you don't have to use your power. Leah shook her head. I can help. You already did, Eli said. You've helped enough. This place will protect you. But Leia stood. She took his hand. I want to protect too. Outside, the ship stopped near the asteroid. They sent a message. Release the Lyri child, or we will destroy this place. Alira walked to the front. She stood in full view of the enemy ships. This is Aurora's edge, she said through the comms. We do not surrender children to monsters. Turn back or be forgotten in the dust. No reply. The ships powered their weapons inside the colonies. People braced for impact. But before the first shot was fired, Leah stepped outside. She stood in the center of the landing field, alone, arms open. Eli ran after her. No, don't. But it was too late. Her body began to glow again. Not just her hands. Her whole form. Silver light rose around her like wind. Stars in the sky seemed to slow. The enemy ships paused. Inside their ships, the crew saw something strange. Images of peace, of calm, of family. Their weapons froze. Their hands couldn't move. Some began to cry. Some dropped their guns. It wasn't just power. It was memory, feeling, understanding. They saw what Leia saw. Her pain, her hope, her dreams. Then the light faded. The ships turned, slowly, and they left. No shots fired, no war. Eli rushed forward and held her tight. You didn't hurt them, he whispered. They saw, Leia said. They saw me. After the ships left without firing, the colony remained silent. No one cheered, no one shouted. They all just stood there, staring at the young alien girl who had stood in front of death and stopped it not with weapons, but with light memory. And feeling, Lya, the old healer of the colony, said softly, I have never seen anything like that in my life. Alira stepped forward, her voice calm and steady. The girl has shown the power of her ancestors, not the power to destroy, but to bring peace. Eli stood beside Leia, still holding her shoulders. She leaned against him, tired again, but not weak like before. It's time she had chosen to stand, and this time she had not fallen. That night, the colony lit soft lights along the walls. The people gathered in the main hall. Leia sat quietly beside Eli, holding a small warm drink in her hands. Some children brought her flowers. Others gave her handmade bracelets. She accepted them all with a shy smile. Eli looked around. Never seen so many different species sit together without fear. All were watching Lionot, with suspicion or fear but with respect. Many of them had been refugees once, some had escaped from wars, others had lost their homes. And now they saw hope in a child. Alira stood and spoke to the crowd. We all have lost something. We all have run from danger. But today, this girl reminded us of something we forgot: how to stand without violence, how to show who we are without using force. The people nodded, some with tears in their eyes. After the gathering, Eli and Leah walked back to their room. The stars above the glass roof blinked quietly. Leah held Eli's hand, her fingers warm and small. Am I bad? She asked softly. Eli stopped walking. What? I have power, she said. People want to catch me. Maybe I hurt them. No, Leah, he said gently. You are not bad. The people who want to control you, they are wrong. Your power is part of you. And you used it to protect others, not to hurt. She looked up at him. But if I lose control, then we'll help you. You're not alone anymore. She didn't say anything else, but she hugged him tightly. In the following days, Leah began to train with the old teachers of the colony. They didn't teach her to fight. They taught her how to listen, how to feel the energy around her, how to stay calm inside. She sat in quiet gardens, hands on her knees, while soft music played. Sometimes her hands would glow just a little. The air would shift. Small stones would rise around her like birds. But she didn't faint anymore. She didn't shake. She was learning to control it. Eli watched her from a distance. He felt proud, but also worried. He met Alira in the main office. How long can we stay hidden? He asked. Not forever, she replied. Her actions reached minds across the galaxy. Word travels. Those who truly fear her will come, stronger ones, not just pirates or hunters. Eli sighed. Then we need to prepare. Alira looked at him closely. Or, we need to tell the galaxy the truth. What do you mean? People fear what they don't understand. But if they saw her, they might think differently. We have a way. We can broadcast a message from here. You want to show her to the whole galaxy? Eli asked, surprised. Only if she agrees. That evening, Eli talked with Leah. They sat beside a glowing lake in the garden. Small lights floated above the water. There's something you should know, he said. She looked at him with calm eyes. She was different now, stronger, but still kind. Alira thinks we should send a message. Let people see you, not the stories. Not the fear, but the real Leah me, she asked. Yes, only if you want. Leah was quiet for a while. Then she said, Can they understand me? Maybe if you speak from the heart. She thought more, then nodded. Double quotes, okay. A day later, a small room was prepared. Simple lights. No stage, no background. Just a chair and a camera. Lya sat down. Eli stood behind the lens, watching. The red light turned on. She took a breath. My name is Leah, she said softly. I'm from the Lyrai people. My home was taken. My family gone. Her voice shook, but she kept speaking. Everyone ran. No one came. Only one person helped me, a human. She looked up, her blue eyes glowing just a little. I didn't know why I had power. I was scared of it. But now I learn it's part of me. I don't want to hurt anyone. I want peace. I want to live, like you, like everyone. She paused. I am not a weapon. I am a girl. Then the camera turned off. The message was sent to colonies, 2 stations, 2 military ships, 2 broken satellites drifting through space. Some ignored it. Some laughed. But some cried. Some changed. A new wave began. The message of the alien girl spread across the galaxy like light through darkness. Some people watched it on small screens in cold outposts. Others saw it in crowded stations, where noise suddenly stopped. For a moment, the galaxy looked into the eyes of a child, not a soldier, not a threat, just a young girl who wanted peace. On distant planets, children pointed at the screen and said, "She's like me." Some captains turned off their weapons. A few leaders called for meetings. In deep inside hidden rooms, those who feared Leia grew restless. A man named Orvik, leader of the Blackveil Syndicate, sat watching the message in silence. His face was cold, his eyes hard. Beside him, a woman whispered, "The people are listening to her." "Dangerous," Orvik replied. "If they believe her, they will stop fearing us." "What now? We'll end this. Before she becomes more than just a voice." He pressed a button. Launched from a dark hangar, fast, quiet, deadly. Back on Aurora's edge, Leia and Eli continued to train. She smiled more now. She laughed with other children. She even helped in the gardens, using her powers gently to lift watering cans and pull weeds. She no longer feared herself. Eli stayed close. He watched her grow. Not in size, but in spirit. He remembered the first day he found her alone, shaking, covered in ash. And now, she was light itself. One evening, Eli sat with Alira. "Did we do the right thing, sending the message?" he asked. Alira nodded. "Change always begins with a voice. Hers is soft but strong." "But now they'll come," Eli said. "The worst of them." "Yes, and we will stand." The next morning, the warning lights flashed again. "Enemy ships detected," said the guard. 7 total, armed silent approach. Everyone in the colony moved quickly. Shields powered up. Defense teams gathered. Alira stood in the center. "Hall, ready." Eli ran to find Leia. She was already awake, standing by the glass window, watching the stars. "They're here," she said. "Yes," he replied. "But this time, we fight together. I'm ready." The enemy ships broke through the outer rocks. Heavy weapons glowed. Loud signals filled the air. "You have protected a threat to the galaxy. Surrender her now or be destroyed." Alira stepped forward and spoke calmly into the coms. "We will not give up a child. Not today, not ever." No reply. Just silence. Then the attack began. Missiles slammed against shields. Beams of red light burned the sky. Rocks exploded. Metal groaned inside. The colony, people stayed strong. Turrets fired back. Barriers held. But the enemy was powerful, and their goal was clear. They wanted Leia. No matter the cost, Eli held a weapon in one hand and Leia's hand in the other. "You don't have to do anything," he said. "Just stay with me." Leia shook her head. "I can help, only if you're sure." She nodded. They reached the top platform. From there, they could see the battle clearly. Fire filled the sky. The colony shook with every blast. Ya stepped forward. She closed her eyes. Her hands began to glow. This time, the light did not just spread, it reached far, across the field, into the enemy ships. Inside the cockpits, the pilots saw memories again. Their own memories. Their fears. Their hopes. They saw Leia's face, her smile. Her pain. Some tried to fire, but their weapons failed. One ship exploded not from Leia, but from inside. As the crew abandoned their mission, another ship turned away. Then 2 more. "She's stopping them," Alira whispered from below. Only 1 ship remained. The largest IT hovered above the colony, aiming one last strike. Not at Leia, but at the heart of Aurora's edge. "No," Eli shouted, running forward. The beam fired. Ya raised her hands. The sky turned white, a dome of energy. Spread out. The beam hit it but could not pass. The light pushed the attack back, swallowing the enemy ship in silence. Then it vanished. Only stars remained. Eli caught Leia as she collapsed again. This time she did not faint. She was smiling. "We did it," she whispered. The people gathered around her. No one spoke. Many knelt. Not because of fear, but respect. They had seen with their own eyes what she truly was. Not a weapon, not a threat, but a light in the darkness. Weeks passed. Messages poured in from planets and stations. People wanted to meet her, to protect her, to learn from her. Some wanted peace talks. Others offered help to rebuild Larari homes. Leah became a symbol not of war, but of healing, and Eli stayed by her side. One night, they sat under the stars again. "Do you want to find a new home?" Eli asked Dada while I looked up. "This is home? You're sure?" She nodded. "Because you're here?" He smiled and held her close. "I'll always be here." And in that quiet moment, the galaxy changed, not with fire, not with war, but with kindness, with hope, with one small girl who had been left behind, and the one human who refused to walk away.